Okay, guys, welcome to General Vezax. I'm recording this video mainly because of the fact I felt my General Vezax kill, General Vezax guard was not very well done. So first we're going to go through the mechanics. So the first mechanic is Aura of Despair. So basically there's two things. One, makes melee attack speed slower. Two, it means you won't naturally regenerate mana during this fight. This is very important for both DPS and healers. Now, healers in this fight, you're going to go from spamming mindlessly on tanks to reactive healing. So it's going to be actually a big problem for a lot of good healers because you're more preemptive on the strike rather than reactive. So now you're going to have to play reactive healing, and making sure your heals per mana is very, very important here because you can't regen mana, period. Like even with Seal of Wisdom and stuff like that, you can't regen mana. So mana efficiency is very, very important here as well. Same with casters, okay? So very, very important. Now, next one's going to be Shadow Crash. Shadow Crash is going to be one of the things that will kill you in hard mode or deal a lot of damage to you in normal mode and heavily disrupt your DPS. Basically, he'll launch a Shadow Crash at ranged or in melee if there's not enough ranged, and he'll create a puddle under it as well for 25 seconds, which reduces the healing done, increases your casting speed by 10%, and increases the magic damage done by 10% and reduces your mana cost by 70%. Lasts for 20 seconds. It is a must need for casters. Be aware though with the casters is that when you all group up to take advantage of that Shadow Crash, that another Shadow Crash could be chucked at your location to refresh the buff as well. So be aware that you make sure you're on the edges or left and right edges of the Shadow Crash to make sure that you're not putting so much range out of position and creating a new Shadow Crash to sit in. Now the next one is going to be Mark of the Faceless. So Mark of the Faceless is that he puts a random dot on someone. Be aware that for hard mode, the debuff that the Shadow Animus gives, not Animus gives, that we'll discuss later, does not affect this. All you have to do is just run away from people. Be aware that the mark is coming from Vezax itself, so anyone near you gets 5,000 damage taken from them. So basically what you need to do is you need to make sure, it's not like, 10 or 12 yards away. You just need to make sure that you're not close to them in a conal shape to Vezax. It's kind of a weird janky sort of thing, but you'll understand it once you get into it. So basically pretty much all you got to do is that the person who gets it goes left and other people go right. Next up is something that you do need a melee interrupt team for is Searing Flames. Now Searing Flames, you just need to kick it once and basically it's done for that time. He will continuously try to cast Searing Flames over and over again. If he's successful, he'll continuously cast it and basically wipe everyone out of the raid very, very quickly. You can't let this go off on hard mode as basically the healers will be tapped to mana to begin with, mainly because of the fact they're saving all the mana for the hard mode. Next up is Surge of Darkness. In normal mode, you can kite this around. However, in hard mode, especially when the Saranite is ready, you cannot really kite this around at all. You have to kind of stay still and take it. Otherwise, the interrupt rotation of Searing Flames won't be able to happen while people are trying to DPS the Animus. Sorry, not Animus, the Elemental. Anyway. So next up, so it is the Animus, sorry. So next up is the Saranite Vapor. So if you're doing normal mode, there'll be these green clouds that intermittently appear in the room. I think it's roughly every 30 to 45 seconds. If you DPS one of those down and kill it, it'll drop a green puddle. And basically you sacrifice a part of your health. I believe it's a 1,000 health for 1,000 mana. And that's essentially what happens. Overall, it's a net benefit because obviously a lot of people's mana pools and healing, they can heal more than the health that they lose. So for example, if someone loses 1,000 health, they can, get 1,000 mana back, they're happy. Just be aware that this stacks, so you can go up to 2, 3, 4, basically going from 2k, 4k, 8k, 16k. So pretty much you don't want to spend all your time in there, otherwise you're probably going to die. Next up is going to be hard mode, and hard mode, pretty much you ignore all the vapors, and you get the Animus. So first thing the Animus does when it spawns, when all 8 the clouds spawn, which was about 4 minutes or so into the fight, is that she puts a Saranite barrier around Vezax, reducing all his damage taken by 99%. Now, at the same time, the Animus needs to be killed right away, because the Animus will constantly cast Profound Darkness, which deals a little bit of shadow damage to everyone, but increases shadow damage taken by 10%. So not only do you have to avoid shadow crashes, but you have to desperately DPS Saranite Animus before anything bad happens. Now, Vezax will still continue to do his normal abilities, so you need to go and kick his Searing Flames, because he'll still do that. And he's not perfectly immune to damage, so you can still do that, while DPSing the Animus as quickly as possible. You'll be wanting to use the Animus, you're wanting to use the Lust on the Animus, basically, because you need to get her down from 100 to 0 as quickly as possible. Now, at this point as well with the Animus, the Shadow Crash will one-shot you if you get hit by it, so be incredibly careful to not get hit by Shadow Crash, otherwise you'll die. The Mark of the Faceless does not increase in damage at all, so don't worry about it too much. Just be aware that you need to get it out of the raid, otherwise Vezax will heal a bit. And basically, when you kill the Animus, you have to finish off Vezax, but at the same time, you're going to realize that nobody's going to have any mana. Okay, it's going to be very difficult for the healers at this stage after the Animus to have any mana, because they would probably expended it all during the Animus phase, because Animus does a lot of damage, especially towards the end, where a Profound Darkness is about 20 to 30 stacks, and it's just chunking your raid all about, and you're just spamming because you just need to cover those people off. Now, during the stage is that with hard mode is that you cannot run Surging Darkness. Normally the tank will kite Surging Darkness across the room so it doesn't get hit by it because Vezax movement speed is slowed. However, in hard mode, you cannot kite Vezax. You have to stand your ground and use a tank cooldown. The main reason for this is that he can cast Searing Flames during it, and if he's away from the Animus where the melee are desperately DPSing it, and they can't interrupt it, no focus cast macro or anything like that, it's basically going to be a wipe, because Searing Flames plus Profound Shadows equals pretty much very quick wiping ability as well. Now, last but not least with Vezax as well, just be aware the final part of the fight is not really over after the Animus is dead. You still got to get past that final part of the fight where everyone's mana is incredibly low, especially healers, and that, basically everyone is pretty much drained and you have to finish off Vezax bit by bit. However, if you're able to do the first 4 minutes of the encounter without wasting too much mana, then this part should be a bit easier. Just be aware that you may have to do a lot more cooldowns, so you're thinking may have to kite Vezax for the surge. And then after that, it'll be a pretty easy kill. And, I hope you guys have a, great time on Vezax, hard mode Vezax. I probably vote Vezax as not a really difficult hard mode to do. If you could probably do XT, you could probably do general Vezax on hard mode. It's just a kind of a different play style compared to the normal play style most bosses for Vezax on hard mode, and I think most of you will be able to do it. And I hope you guys enjoyed I hope this is a lot better for you guys, and I hope you guys rate a bit highly of the strategy. But overall, I can't put markers down, but overall, to put it quaintly, is that for hard mode, is that you want the two tank together. You can even tank it here, it doesn't really matter. Just maximize DPS on the Animus. And the Animus needs to die. Once the Animus dies, basically Vezax doesn't get his 99% shield anymore. Have a good one, guys. See you guys later. Peace out. Bye.